Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. I hope you all are having a great weekend. As you can see from the title of this video, I will be recapping the latest episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's season 6, but the second half. We are on episode 20. And the show has been back for about 4 weeks now, so it's definitely moving fast, and we have a lot to talk about. Now, before we dig in, I do ask that you all please hit the like button on this video because it will cause YouTube to recommend this video to more people who enjoy watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, or perhaps they're even blacking out the show in support of Melody Cherie, but they like to hear about the recaps. So definitely hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this video to more people. And of course, everything that I'm saying here today is alleged and in my opinion. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right on in. So the episode opens up with Martell basically venting with Fletcher and his business partner, Fred, about Marceau's comments, saying that he absolutely would not pay people to speak at the Black Expo. As we all can see, the Black Expo, the event itself, is carrying the show. The Black Expo and Kiki, all right? But anyway, so Martell was really activated by what Fletcher brought back to him. Now, I know sometimes we say that people like the Fletchers and Kimmy are bone carriers. If they are carrying mess, then they are a bone carrier. But if somebody is truly disrespecting you and you need to get them together, it ain't really a bone that they're carrying. It's a message. It is vital information that you need to address. And I'm glad that the Fletchers let Melody know about the t-shirt business comment and just basically their jealousy. And now Martell is starting to wake up and he is starting to notice what time it is with the Scotts, because we're going to talk about what he said in his confessional. What's up, Flora? Thank you so much for being here. Yes, indeed. Happy Sunday. And Mama V, what's up? Thank you so much for being here. And everyone who's checking out the replay, thank you for checking out the replay. And please hit the like button. All right. And how's everyone's weekend? I actually went to the gym before I came here. I just like to, let the edge off. So I got to move my body around and I made a green smoothie before I got started. So here we go. So again, Fletcher really activated Martell with Marceau saying that, I'm not going to pay speakers who had to file bankruptcy and who has a t-shirt business because they have a platform. Obviously, Marceau is jealous that Melody is not only the fan fave, but she has the most followers on Instagram, on her social media, and her supporters support her financially by buying her products. And it is not the same. I don't think that Tisha and Marceau can say the same. I think that it was smart of them to open up Black because from what we've heard over the seasons, people who live in Huntsville complain that there's not much to do in Huntsville. So if you don't have a lot of competition, if there's not a huge bar scene in Huntsville, then it makes sense that you would open up a bar. You know what I'm saying? But Melody's skincare line, 7th Avenue, is hugely successful in an industry, the beauty industry, that is highly saturated with several different products. And yet and still, Melody sells 6 figures worth of products every month. Okay, that is amazing and a true blessing. All right, so Martell was saying that, he wants to have a conversation with Marceau, but in his confessional, he questioned how sincere Marceau would actually be if they were to converse and talk about this. And then he said that, they wanted to be us, point blank, period, talking about the Scotts wanting to be Melody and Martell. And we're going to circle back to this, absolutely. And I guess if you were there in person with Martell, you could sense the heat because even Fletcher said, okay, Mayweather. So I'm sure you could feel his intensity. So then we have this scene, which is Macy and Mila and Tisha's manager. They actually met up with Tisha. It looks like they were at the manager's house packing orders. According to Tisha, they've gotten 175 orders for the Macy and Mila hairline that they had to pack. Also, according to Tisha, they have been working on these hair care products for 4 to 5 years. Now, the show has been on the air for more than 4.5 years, nearly 5 years. And we've never heard any inclination of them having a dream of starting a hair care line, let alone we've never seen Tisha meet with a chemist. We've never seen Tisha have a sit down with Stormy and say, I seriously have been thinking about starting a hair care line, particularly for kids, guide me in the right direction. None of that. But it's something that they've been working on for a few years now. I just question that if that is actually the case. But that is what they say. Do y'all believe that? I know that I do not. I feel like they've been watching Melody's success with her skincare line. They don't have the nerve to touch skincare products because they don't want to look foolish. So then they enter the hair care business, trying to, get into the beauty industry and bite off a Stormy. What do you all think? Flores says 4 to 5 years and they couldn't be better organized. Hello, okay? Even Marceau has something to say about their assembly line. We're going to get to it. Donna D, what's up? Thank you so much for being here. Donna D says, we see Tisha doing what Melody used to do before Martell stopped his children from being on the show and social media. Very good point, Donna D. Copying what Melody did, packing up products with her children. How dreadful. Yeah, you bring up an excellent point. This scene was also inspired by the many times we've seen Melody go live on Instagram while she works. While she's packing up your orders, she is live on Instagram. So they have actually torn a page out of Melody's book. They've gotten the whole book from the library and they're just going through it page by page, imitating. But imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So even Marceau felt like, Tisha really wasn't very organized, like what Flores said. And he's like, if we're going to teach our girls to get into business, we need to give them like a really good example and show them what all of the work that goes into it is like. And then, they mentioned how their oldest daughter is always asking about the money. Well, how will the money be affected? What about the money? And then Marceau says, well, we don't just want to teach her money because money is a byproduct of business. She needs to know everything that goes into it. And I felt like those were fair points. Marceau has his moments where he talks like he might have some sense, but then he totally ruins it the rest of the time when he opens up his mouth. Okay. So as a matter of fact, once the girls took their break and the manager left, the two of them sat down and they talked about Stormy. And Marceau actually said, let me go to my notes because I don't want to miss out a thing. So Marceau actually said he puts his negative exchange on Stormy as if it doesn't go back to the morning of the expo where he rolled up on her asking for money like he was Ghost from Power. Like literally, Marceau was treating Stormy like she was one of his runners that stands on the corner and sells, and he was going to collect his money. And Stormy didn't like that. So now ever since then, it's been some bad blood, but that is how he's been treating her. And Marceau feels like there should be gender roles in romantic relationships, but there's no gender in business. Okay, profound. Yes, I'll give you that, Marceau. What you said was very profound. But when it comes to Stormy, he takes absolutely no responsibility. Do you all think that pretty much Stormy just started calling him a Bia out the blue? Or do you think like even if her word choice was too much, you understood her anger because the Black Expo was so disorganized? She had no idea about the vendor fee and he's asking her the morning of while she's setting up. I understand her annoyance. Now, whether or not, I would have called him a Bia, I don't know, probably would not have, but we all know what it stems from. And Marceau is not keeping it real when he does not go to the very first thing that prompted their negative exchange. So when he acts like that and he doesn't take accountability, I just cannot. It's the fakeness for me. But we will circle back to this man and his business intelligence or lack thereof. Flores says, Stormy was never part of the expo initially. They asked her to step in. They are very ungrateful. You're absolutely right. She was not a part of the planning meetings. And even in the planning meetings, they did not mention a vendor fee. All right. So then we have Kimmy and her friend Andrea. In my opinion, Andrea owned this scene over Kimmy. Of course, Kimmy now is seeing that we are all growing tired of the SEX storyline for her and Maurice. So I guess they're trying to be creative and add their friends to the mix to get their opinions on their SEX life to try and give it some variety. It is still the same boring storyline, and we're still sick of it. But anyway, her friend Andrea came over, and Andrea, pulled out the SEX toys, and she showed her a couple of things. One was the Kegel balls that's also a vibrator. And Kimmy was saying, "Oh, I'll just add it to the mini toys that we have." And you may remember, but some months ago, I did a video on the different ways that Kimmy has said that she has met Maurice. And one of them did involve SEX toys.
What can we do? And this is serious. What can we do to prove to you that we weren't dating at that time? And part of the reason,
why does it matter? Why does it matters to you? Why does it does not matter to me? They asked me a question,
okay,
and I answered the question. It doesn't matter. You're married now. What difference does it make when you dated? She asked me
because you've been salty for years.
Not because of that. Not because of that.
What is it?
The problem was, like she said that was the first time I met her. Actually, that was the second time I met you. That was shady.
So wait.
Okay, wait. No, you have got to hear this because this is almost crazy.
Okay.
The first time I met Kiowa, I had no idea who she was, nor any of these Scots. She sold adult toys, and I bought them. And how some kind of relationship came from that, where she feels like now I'm shady because your next encounter, I've met your husband, I have no idea. But that's what she's making this correlation to.
And is that why you think she shouldn't be around your son? Because she purchased sex toys?
And when I met him, I didn't know that was her ex-husband.
The connection is that my brother was.
So thank you so much for being here, Patricia. I appreciate you. Yes, that's absolutely right. Tisha has to be lying about them starting the products 5 years ago because her youngest would have been like a little toddler. Come on now. But yes, I wanted to play that clip because of the SEX toys. We know that that was one of the ways that she met Maurice and Kiowa. That was at the season 1 reunion with Kiowa, Kimmy, and Maurice on stage. And Kiowa was talking about how they originally met. Kiowa was having a toy party. She was selling them. So their mutual friend was hosting a toy party. Kiowa was selling them, and Kimmy bought one. And then, I don't know if allegedly Kimmy and Maurice may have been eyeing each other or just Kimmy was eyeing him, but it was always so messy to me, in my opinion. So Flora says, Kimmy's libido is very active around Martell. She's always excited around him more than Maurice. That is so interesting. Yes, I remember a subscriber, shout out to Simply Beautiful. She said, Kimmy is always saying, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Yeah, lots of people think that she is definitely attracted to Martell. It's just sickening to think anyone could get excited about such a despicable cheater. I know, how the heck can you trust Martell knowing what he did to Melody? But anyway, that was pretty much the gist of this scene. Now, when we first saw the trailer for the second half of season 6 of Love and Marriage Huntsville, we saw Kimmy on a photo shoot wearing like some lingerie. Then there was a shot of her just wearing like a button-down shirt. So her friend Andrea recommended that she do like a sexy photo shoot. So her friend Andrea literally just gave her an extension of her storyline. I hope you thanked her, Kimmy. So that was that scene. And then we see Tisha and Marceau. They are actually trying to film a promo video for their Bet on Black fundraiser. Now, according to them, if you were to give to their Bet on Black casino night that night, they were going to take the money and use it to build homes for children in underserved communities. Now, this is just alleged, and in my opinion, it's like, would they really use the funds raised for charity on the actual charity? They have a foundation, and they're saying that they would do that. I hope that they would. I am not explicitly saying that they would not, but I hope that they would. I hope that at the reunion, Carlos specifically asked Tisha and Marceau, have they built at least one house for an underserved community member? What part of Huntsville do you say when you say underserved? Do you mean North Huntsville or a completely different city? How many homes? Have you started a home? Is it complete? If it's not, what's the estimated completion date? These things, I feel like the Scotts, they get to just skate through, just not giving details, and they're on a reality TV show. They're paid to be on a reality TV show. That's why I write them so hard, including the lawsuit. I know when it comes to a lawsuit, you're pretty much fighting for your assets, your money, your name, your reputation. But let us know something, because we know it's not all flowers and roses. It isn't for anybody in life. But the difference is you're on a reality TV show and you're making six figures to pretty much keep everyone in the dark and fake it, So then I just want to point out that it also took them at least 15 takes to say, when you're gambling, always bet on black. And on such and such night, please join us for casino night where we will be fundraising for children in need, or whatever the scripting was similar to that. It took these Negroes 15 takes to get it done. Okay. And so I felt like the videographer and her manager, they were both patient with them. They didn't laugh at them or front on them at all. And they finally got through it. So then we see where Marceau initially met with just Martell at his house. And, Marceau said, so how's Fletcher? He brought him up because Marceau knows that the Fletchers have been revealing the stank things that they have been saying about Melody and Martell. So Martell goes, oh, Fletcher's just being Fletcher. He keeps telling me I need to move out. I need to move out. So like Martell is moving like a squatter. Like he won't, like he's just like bum on the couch in a hoodie. Like he's not going to get up and move. He looks like he's just been sitting there playing video games, and he cleaned up a little bit because they were filming. But get up and move, dude. Like you don't live there anymore. They're trying to sell that house. Donna D says, the more we hear about Marceau and Tisha, the more snakish they seem. Agreed. You would think Marceau and Tisha would have practiced their script before they began filming the commercial. Hello. Oh my gosh. That was ridiculous. And I get it that it's acting. You would have had to memorize the script. You have to relax and get ready for it. But like Donna D says, you could practice. And also, they've been filming reality TV for like 5 years now. Come on. Why should it take 15 takes? And how much are you paying those two people to film you? The underserved is their home. Oh, Reed, see ya. I see ya. They are scammers, and all the funds would have gone to their home renovation, child. And that is our opinion, and it's alleged, okay? But Reed, I see you. Tisha needs to go back to speech therapy. Only when she's angry does her speech flow. Oh my gosh, you are funny, Flora. I know. She's been saying that since season 1, that she knows that that's like an issue. So in this scene, I want to say, Marceau meets with Martell and Fletcher about Marceau's comments about the Holt's accomplishments. Marceau insinuates that Melody is only successful because she has a platform. Number one, it is actually smart to launch businesses after being on a popular TV show. It would be insanely stupid to not start new businesses after you are on a popular TV show that's been renewed for another season. It only makes sense. Melody is not the only one to launch a product line after being on a successful reality TV show. Candy started Bedroom Candy season 4 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She joined ROA season 2. Lots of reality TV stars have started products. Bethany Frankel, her Skinny Girl Margarita, that started after she joined the Real Housewives of New York. I made a video about her and Nene, and I was saying, I remember those early seasons of the show where Bethany would go out to a bar and she would tell them how to make her Skinny Girl Margarita. She would say, can you make me take so much water, so much lemon juice, so much vodka, all the ingredients. And one day she said, I'm going to bottle this. It's smart. Marceau is just jealous because we all don't follow him on social media. I only follow he and Tisha because I'm a content creator and I just want to be smart and be able to have access to anything that they release that could be newsworthy. But I wouldn't buy any of their products. Even if I had a kid, if I had a little girl, I wouldn't buy their line. I'm just being honest. I work hard to earn my money and I want to spend it with people that, I respect, I admire, and that's that. Donna D says, Martell is very confident that he is not going to move out of the property until he gets good and ready. How arrogant. Does he have anything he can hold over Chris's head? Oh, I hope not, Donna D. That would be terrible. Meanwhile, the Scots 1.0 were e-commercing their tails off in this episode. Very true, Pacino rules. Absolutely. That's a very good point. We were talking about how, they've stolen a page out of Melody Cherie's books when she goes live on Instagram, literally while she's working, packing orders. They're doing the same thing by inserting that same concept into the episode. If it wasn't for Melody and Martell, not only would they have not started Scolt, they would not be on Love and Marriage Huntsville, and they would not have the business sense to sell the way that she does. They are still learning from her, although they don't have the balls to admit it. So not only is it smart to launch businesses while on a popular TV show, Melody was actually a star before Love and Marriage Huntsville. That's how she was able to even nail the show. Hello. Like Carlos King has said this on his podcast, on his YouTube channel, that when he meets someone, he can tell right away if you're going to be a star. And he said that when he first met Melody and Martell, he said he told Melody, honey, you are a star. So he knew it. And he accepted her pitch for a TV show. And then they recommended the Scots. Why don't you give them that? Give them their flowers instead of always trying to stump on them and dry them out. Okay? Give the Holtz their flowers. So then in this same scene, Marceau had the nerve to say that he has no problems talking about his bankruptcy. So Marceau, talk about it. Talk about it, dude, because we don't know. All we know is what thankfully Melody said a couple episodes back, that you all filed bankruptcy, not because that you all were getting a divorce, but because your finances weren't right. Talk about it. It's not that my life doesn't get enhanced by you talking about it. I just don't think that it's fair that you get to be on a reality TV show and make all this money while hiding your reality. I don't think that's cool at all. I've been watching reality TV since I was probably too young to watch it. And we all know when somebody's faking the funk. And I don't think that that's right. Perhaps people can learn from your bankruptcy if you would talk about it. Just talk about it. Did you open up too many credit cards? Did you buy too many cars all at once? What was it, that led to the bankruptcy? Talk about it. Melody has so much. She has expertise in skincare products, t-shirts, property conservation, singing, acting, part ownership of a network. She's a doctor now. I know God continuously blesses her. It is probably all of the seeds that she planted long ago by helping people out like the Scots. God is literally returning that energy back to her because she's been so generous. So I just feel like it was, pot meet kettle, because Marcel tried to say in this scene that Melody and Martell never talk about the downs in their life unless it just relates to their marriage. They don't talk about the downs in business. And that is when Martell said in his confessional, well, I can't really think of a time when Melody and I were down in business. We were always on top, and they wanted to be us. Thank you, Martell, for having that revelation, something that the viewers have been saying for years. Now he gets it. See, Martell wishes he hadn't done his wife wrong, not only when they were married, but even post-marriage, because perhaps she would be a little open to doing business with you. But because you're so disrespectful and you violate boundaries constantly, you have totally ruined any chances of a business relationship with your ex-wife. Let me get to the comments. Tisha comes out and makes a statement about it. If they made one, can they make another one? Well, that shows you how ungrateful they are. But God doesn't like ugliness. 100%. Marceau feeling threatened by Courtney and Stormy taking their slot on the show. Hence, they were happy to be frenemies against Mel. Yes, you all have been saying that you feel like, even like Tiffany may be threatened by other people on the show as well. Definitely Marceau and Tisha are probably threatened that the viewers may connect a little more with Stormy. One thing about Stormy, I have to say, like when they played that clip where it looked like Tisha and Stormy met after they had that town hall meeting, they met somewhere, and Tisha still was not direct with Stormy. She did not say, could you stop calling my husband a Bia? Stormy had to guide her through it. Did y'all notice that? Stormy was asking Tisha questions. She was like, do you not like it when I call your husband a Bia? And she was like, it's very disrespectful. And then Stormy's like, would you like me to stop calling your husband a Bia? And Tisha's like, yes. I'm like, Tisha, why does she have to ask you? That's not even realistic. Ideally, if people see that you're not being direct, they're not going to guide you through it. They're not going to help you express to them what you did not like that they did. If you're not going to be direct and tell them, they're going to be like, oh, well, and keep living their life. But Stormy actually guided Tisha through that, like grabbed her by the hand and like guided her through, asked her pointed questions so she could kind of directly say, I don't like it when you call my husband out of his name. That was crazy to me. And then Stormy said, well, I'll work on it. And then I'm going to say this. Stormy will explain to you the dysfunction in her family. She said growing up, basically we were always harsh with each other. We just pretty much said whatever. And she said, and I've been a Bia since I was 4 years old. Did y'all peep that? Like, was Betty still calling her kid out of her name since she was 4 years old? Like the dysfunction of it all. But I feel like Stormy has enough self-awareness that she knows that she grew up in dysfunction, and she knows that her childhood dysfunction is the reason why she is the way that she is today. And I can't do nothing but respect that. She did that in the first half of season 6 when she and Melody met up. And she said, when it comes to my mama don't like nobody, not my husband, my friends, and not her sister. So like Stormy, she has the wherewithal to recognize the dysfunction in her family. And she's smart enough to know that that explains who she is today. It was very much so like Stormy, she binge watches Iyanla Vanzant's Fix My Life. She has a good grip on her dysfunction. And so I can't do nothing but respect that. Perhaps the Holts didn't experience failures in business. And I see your point, Pacino Rules. Now I have a feeling that's the case. I have a feeling that that is the case. I have a feeling that the Holts did not scam anybody. They did not try to take from anybody. They worked hard. Melody said like they would work in homes that did not have heat, even in the wintertime. And they would run in. They would work on whatever was damaged. There was like a light fixture. Then she would run back out to the car, sit in the heat in the car and warm up, and then run back in the house. hard work like that, yeah, I don't think you're going to experience failures in business. And I'm not saying that Marceau and Tisha didn't do that or wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying the work that the Holts put into their business, it obviously showed up in dollars and cents. Can they make one? I think they just recently did that scene with Stormy and Tisha. Yes, Mama V, from how Tisha was explaining it to Marceau after the town hall, she and Stormy decided to go out somewhere and talk about it. So Tisha must have sent her a little PUSSY text. Can you meet with me so we can talk? And then Stormy had to guide her through it. I'm kind of sad Stormy agreed not to call Marceau a B anymore. I know, me too, Donna D. I felt so bad. I was like, Stormy, no, don't say you're not going to call him that anymore. You were just speaking the truth, dear. Maybe she'll forget. I'm hoping she'll forget too, baby. I'm hoping it will. Somebody pray for amnesia over Stormy, okay? I'm just kidding. I know, I was like, dang, Stormy, no. Martell can't handle Marceau with his fast talking, but Mel said that Marceau thinks he's smarter than the average person. Mel said that at the opening of Destiny's beauty supply store. Yes, she did. She did say that. Martell can't handle Marceau. He was trying to. He was trying, but Marceau does think that he can out-talk all of us. And you would only think like that if you're like a little slick. You know what I mean? I agree that Stormy and Tisha's scene was weirdly inserted. Absolutely. I think Tisha requested it. Yes. All right. So then Marceau said, so then there was the debate in this scene between Marceau and Martell on whether or not Marceau had ever loaned Martell money. So first, this whole subject has like a two-part fold to it. Number one, Marceau was trying to say, well, you know, we bought you out. Like they gave him some money, but you bought him out. Martell said it was always known that, you know, once I helped you all establish your business, that you would buy me out. I think that that's very normal. I think that that is very businesslike. And I don't know why Marceau would think that that would have any significance. That's business. Also, Marceau was trying to convince us that he loaned Martell money. If he did, I believe that it was after Melody left Martell and their finances were no longer joined and Martell didn't have as much excess cash to tap into. So he probably did need Marceau to loan him some money, you know, to put on a deposit on a house. I don't know, maybe to get some insurance in just his name and get some groceries or gas for the car. I don't know. But I believe if Marceau loaned Martell any money, it was definitely after Melody left him. Do you all believe Marceau that he has loaned Martell some money? Or do you believe Martell when he was like, I can't remember a time? Y'all let me know in the chat. All right, so then we have the last scene of this episode, which is when Kiki met with Melody. So Kiki was starting off with saying that she was sick again. I was thinking, oh my gosh, if she gets to talking as much as she was in the very first episode of the second half. But Melody was like, oh no, you told me, you were sick. She said, but you look good. You feel okay? And she was like, you know, they're still testing me. I think she felt okay. But then they were talking about Marceau because Melody brought her up to speed that there was a town hall meeting on the Black Expo. And Kiki obviously talks to Stormy outside of the show because she said, oh, yeah, Stormy was mad at Marceau because Marceau was being cheap and asking her for $100. And Melody said, I just cannot believe that these people who say that they're multimillionaires are tripping over $100. And I honestly, in my opinion, I don't think that Stormy cares about the dollar amount. I don't think she liked the way Marceau walked up on her because he did walk up on her like she's one of his goons that works the corner and directly sells to the crackheads. And he was rolling up on her to collect his money so she could re-up and get some more. Y'all can tell I watch Power and read my gangster books, honey. But that is how Marceau walked up on Stormy. And I don't think she appreciated it. I don't think it's the dollar amount, because she and Courtney both kind of move like they walk around with a wad full of money. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but I think it was the way Marceau approached her. And that was what Kiki said too. Like, I feel like she didn't like the way he came up on her. But then Kiki proceeds to tell Melody that, when Marcel talks, he thinks that you're not smart enough to pick up on what he's saying, and he's being very sarcastic and funny. But, according to Kiki, allegedly, there's actually 2 women out there who willingly had a threesome with Marceau. And y'all, I was just so glad I hadn't had my breakfast yet, because I was starting to get a little queasy. I'm just like, who would do that? Why? Why? There is no need. I don't care how long it's been. I don't care how of a SEX drive you have. Why Marceau? I mean, no. I just don't understand that, why 2 women would agree to that. I'm guessing the 2 women, they were probably more so on each other than on him, because, like, why? I just cannot believe that. It's either just false altogether, or these 2 women, we got to get them some help. And if y'all 2 women who allegedly did something with Marceau after meeting him at a club one night, if y'all are out there and y'all are watching this, know that Show Style and Spirit is a safe zone over here. I don't curse people out. I'm not going to do you like that. I'm not just going to blatantly laugh at you. I want to get you some help. We need to get you to an eye doctor, definitely a psychiatrist. We need to see what's going on in those heads of y'all's. Just why? Don't ever feel like you ever have to do anything with Marceau Scott, okay? But Melody's gasp was all that it was for me, honey. I totally got it. I was just like, oh my gosh. And I guess we're going to have to hear more about it next week. Also next week is the water toss. This is when Kiki is going to tap into Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and she's going to have like a drink in front of her. It is water. It's not like Hennessy or anything. And she's going to toss it onto Tisha. And so that's what we're going to see next week. It's finally here after so many months of learning about it. So we definitely have to check it out. And do y'all really have an idea of the 2 people at the reunion that get into it? Some people think that it's going to be Betty and Melody. While I did hear from another source that Betty and Melody do have words, I don't think so, because I don't think it's them 2 that get into it for 13 minutes straight, because Carlos said that it was literally after everyone sat down. And as some of you did say in the comments, that typically that's just going to be like your core 6, or just the people who are main cast. Now, Kiki is in the opening theme for the show. So if she is considered to be main cast, it could be her. It could be Kiki and Tiffany, or it could be Tisha and Kiki, or Tisha and Stormy. Those are my combinations for the first 13 minutes. I really have a feeling that it is Kiki and Tisha, because Kiki would be considered main cast at this point. So I believe that she would be brought out right in the beginning, right? Or do you think in the very beginning of the reunion, it's just the core 6? I think it's just a main cast though. But then if it was everyone who's main cast, there would literally be no other people to bring out except Betty and the Fletchers. They would be the only people to have to bring out later. I don't know. Let me get caught up on the comments though. Let's see here. I believe Martell was telling the truth about the setup of Scope. Me too, absolutely. Marceau, I thought, was hinting about Ari, but Martell will lose it for real if Marceau dare say anything. Martell is finally starting to see the light when it comes to the Scotts. If there's tea, spill it, or feed it to Ariane and let her spill it. The way that Marceau and Tisha hugged and the way she greeted him, it seems to me they're not husband and wife. I believe they are separated. I agree. Like the way Marceau walked over to the manager's house when they were packing orders, it was just giving like They haven't seen each other. I totally agree with that. That was like a hug that you might give your man, your boyfriend, after y'all been working all week and maybe you didn't see each other and now it's the weekend and y'all seeing each other. Stormy was offended over how Marceau approached her. Absolutely. It was not the $100, dollar amount. Marceau and Tisha give me Will and Jada vibes. Maybe they've been separated for 6. Oh my gosh, Donna D. Really? That is profound. Girl, Will and Jada. Well, except like they're not as far gone or as hypnotized to where they would slap somebody. Like I feel like they would get slapped. The main person who has a history of getting into something is Martell. I'd be surprised if he didn't have a part of it somehow. Oh. And what specifically are you saying it? What's the it? Or are you talking about the two that got into it the first 13 minutes of the reunion? So then I'm sure y'all probably checked out my video last night. This was a post that Letitia posted last night. Stop playing with us. # let's go. Playtime is over. This is when Marceau was trying to say that although he worked at a movie theater, he owned several different properties. Okay. A ridiculous amount of properties. Let's go through some of them. I'm going to go and read from this screen. He's saying that he owned, past tense, a 50-unit apartment complex with Reese. 60 units. That's a huge complex. That's like a condo complex. Owned a 12-plex apartment with Tisha. Owned a 4-plex with Maurice. Owned between 7 to 10 single-family homes. Someone in my comments said, you don't know the exact number, you given a range. Good point. Especially when you're dealing with, tenants, you gonna know how many properties it is because you know how many knuckleheads might be giving you the flux, okay? They insisted that we use their car for about a week because Tisha didn't want to drive my Jeep. We never stayed in anything they own, and they never said that we did. So it's like someone said in my comments about that last part. If they would keep it real and talk more of what's going on, then the viewers would not be left to ourselves to create a narrative. So it did come out from somewhere that they had lived in one of the Holtz properties. And he's saying that that never happened and they never said it. That was his way of saying, y'all viewers just put that out there. But when you front and you half step it and pretend like you're not half stepping it, that is where stuff like that comes from. And, they have like Miss Wanda out here just caping for them, going off on bloggers left and right. And they don't share everything. Talk about the bankruptcy. Right. I was talking about the altercation at the reunion. I haven't heard much about it, but Martell has that history. Very good point, Donna D. I totally agree. I'm going to refresh my Instagram just to see if any of the castmates are live right now. And if anyone wants to come up and give their commentary, definitely you are more than welcome. So I'm just going to check my Instagram really quick, see if any of them are live. It doesn't look so. I can tell that Melody is pretty much taking like a break from social media because she hasn't really posted in several days. And I know that she'll do that from time to time. So I definitely totally get it. But yeah, so it doesn't look like anyone is live right now, but definitely please hit the like button on this video just so that more people can check out my review, check out my other videos that I have here, and they'll hear of Show Style and Spirit and maybe they'll want to subscribe. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. But I think like this was good. It was starting to shine a light on the Scotts, something that we definitely need to see more of. Like, talk about the bankruptcy. All Marceau said was, I would love to. Yes, I did hear that Melody has court on the 23rd. So not tomorrow, but the following Monday. And thank you so much for being here, Anonymous. What's up? Something isn't adding up. Tisha had a secret meeting with Carlos, and it was a big argument going on at the reunion. Mel and Martell went at it bad. I did hear that. Mel gave them all a, yes, I heard that Melody made it rain. She handed out $100 to everyone, saying, if y'all are tripping about the $100, here you go. Tisha had a secret meeting with Carlos, and it was a big argument going on. I have a feeling this reunion is going to be very intense. I feel like we're going to see multiple arguments. And what annoys me about Martell getting into it with Melody is that you see how Marceau and Tisha have been shading you, and yet and still you want to argue with the mother of your children. Something is just not right about him. But y'all definitely let me know in the comments what you thought of this episode too. If anybody doesn't feel like coming up, I totally get it. We can enjoy the rest of the Sunday. So I'll wait for about another minute or so. Then if not, we can just get back to the rest of the weekend. I am waiting though. I feel like when the reunion occurs, we're going to be seeing like a ton of social media comments. I feel like we're going to hear more from Martell and Marceau and Tisha. I just remember like after season 1, when Tisha and Marceau would always go live on Instagram, they would be argumentative with the viewers. I remember I used to be in their bushes and I'm like, look at how they talk to the viewers. Only a few reality TV stars are rude. Even Candace from the Real Housewives of Potomac, she grew out of that. She's no longer like, she would just be going toe to toe with folks on Twitter. And Kelly Dodd from the Real Housewives of Orange County, and Mariah Huck. I do love Mariah, but Mariah will go back and forth with people, especially if they would talk about her hair or her edges. But Marceau and Tisha, season 1, they would be so rude to the viewers, anybody who would be calling them out on their ish. Melody is wild. She gave them one. And they said that she gave Martell $500 at the reunion. She knows that he needed that money too. I wouldn't have given Martell a cent, though. I'm not as elevated as Melody. And you know what? That leads me to something, because I wanted to bring up when Marceau and Martell were talking about, Marceau was trying to say, I loaned you money and, and how much was it? And who gave who more? So what? If you want to be so like, my business acumen, I'm so highly business intelligent, Marceau, it wouldn't even be about the dollar amount or who gave what. But with Melody giving Martell $500, I would have to see bills. I would say, I'll pay the energy bill and the heat bill. Like, I'm not giving him cash so he can go spend it at the strip club. I would have given him Monopoly money. I know that's right, Anonymous. Monopoly money is all they deserved. Exactly. All right, y'all. Well, I believe that's all that I have. This was definitely fun. Again, I ask that you please hit the like button. I'm going to go ahead and close out this live chat. I'm going to check throughout the day. If any of them go live, I will definitely stream it. And I will talk with you all soon. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Bye.